Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of your gaming news and all that good stuff. And today it's Monday, a little bit of a slow day, but we got some interesting stuff here. This is kind of 1 or 2 days ago, but I wanted to make a video for today. Yesterday, Sunday, day off. Supposedly, the official from AMD, the official benchmarking from the 7800X3D, supposedly it's 20% faster than the 13900K and 1080p gaming. Usually that's how they test CPU performance. It's always trying to get the component that you test to get that bottleneck on that component, and usually it's on CPUs. It's you usually put like 1080p gaming. Sometimes you can put it in nowadays you can put it like high settings, but usually it's like low settings, so the game engine starts to throw out more frames, and usually that's when the CPU start to bottlenecks, because usually now the 4090 can deliver I don't know how many amount of frames per second and lower resolutions, because the higher resolution, the more you bottleneck you are more dependent on the GPU. The lower the resolutions, the bottleneck starts to be encountered in the CPUs. And supposedly we have like compared to a 3900K, like around up to, it's always with a caveat, up to 20%. Some games 24% or something like that, and generationally kind of the same thing. The 5800X3D is still a very good CPU for gaming, at least for 1080p. But overall, usually the more resolution, the more graphic settings you put on, the more dependent on the GPU you are. So, like usually, like a basic rule of thumb is, if you're playing like 4K gaming, you really need a good CPU, but you don't need like the highest tier CPU. Let's say, for example, at the moment, if you want to play like 4K gaming in high or ultra settings, of course you need a 4090 to have decent amount of frame rates. But for example, even in most cases, a 5600X should get a hold on that performance, even though in some situations it can be a bottleneck to the CPU. But even like a 5700X or the 5800X3D, it's more than enough. You don't need like the newest ones. Even all previous generation can handle this. But yeah, it's interesting to see that, of course, when specifically Hardware Unbox managed to disable one of the CCTs to test like the simulated 7800X3D, we saw some great gains on the simulated results regarding some gamings. And supposedly, again, take it with a grain of salt, this is official from AMD. We always know that any company is trying to flourish their numbers here and there to make them seem way better than they usually are. And they always trying to do shenanigans with their marketing. It's always with an asterisk, up to, in certain specific very conditions. In this case, they put the same memory, so 6000 megahertz memory. I don't know the timings here, but I saw other graphs that it's the same memory. Usually the Intel CPUs take advantage of the more memory speed that you have. They perform a little bit better. The X3D, because of their cache, they don't need, or they don't scale that well or better with the higher speed memory. So it is going to perform very well. Don't get fooled. I think it will perform better than the 7950 X3D, and it's going to be minimum going battle with the 13900K. And even the other one, the KS, I think, or KH, I never know the it's too many numbers and letters for this kind of parts. But yeah, it's good to see that the predictions are kind of the same way, that at least what they are trying to show us. But wait for reviews. If you're waiting to buy one, just wait for reviews to take some confirmation of this kind of results. In other news, GPU from AMD. Gigabyte supposedly is going to launch like a 6800 XT with a new design. This is kind of an old. It's not old, but it's from previous generations. They are launching a new one. It's like a beefier one. As you can see, the difference between sizes of a 6800 XT and the 6800 XT they are going to launch. Supposedly, this is like the same cooler of the 6950 XT from Gigabyte. I don't know. I think it's the same thing. They are being holding up some stock here and there, for sure. That's why they have enough for them to launch a new model for the 6800 XT at the moment. Same thing with Nvidia. We are starting to see still some new versions over the 3060 Ti with 12 gigabytes GDR6X memory. Those ones supposedly are going to perform the best because supposedly are the same boards from the 3070 series GPUs. So but yeah, we still have a lot of last generation GPU stuff still on the market, except for usually the higher tier. Usually they will go first because usually they have less stock when they manufacture, and also they usually can be the first ones to go. But still, we are still seeing a lot of stuff, new models coming from last generation. That's why the prices are not going down, because they have stock to keep the prices a little bit higher. And yeah, basically this is it. But in new stuff, for example, the 7900XT in China, this is also like 2 days ago, give or take. It's supposedly this is in China market, so it's kind of different. Doesn't going to directly reflect immediately on other markets. It's being sold like $150 below MSRP, which is good. It's very good because it starts getting on that price tier that it is. This is from Vastarmor, which is a specific brand mainly for the Chinese market. You probably won't see this model specifically in other markets. This is good because of the tier price. It's getting closer to the price that supposedly, compared to previous generations, is getting closer on the price to performance that it is for the previous generation, which is that you pay basically kind of the same price from the same tier of GPUs, and you get a little bit boost on the performance, or else you will not bother to upgrade. I think they made a lot of money from new DIY market. That's why they maintain the high prices, and people that want to upgrade, they are just holding off. I think people that are buying here, it's people that don't have any issues with spending money on high-end priced components, and people that are building new computers, new systems. That's why they think they can maintain this higher prices. But I think people that are upgrading, they are just holding off, and that's why we see a lot of stuff still coming down little by little, because in the overall scheme of things, at least in my opinion, from what I can perceive, is that people, when the lockdowns and everything started, they had kind of more incoming per se. Some of them start working from home, so a lot of them start diverging a little bit from the overall trend and start building DIY PCs, and they spent a lot of money at the time, for sure, because of the 30 series launch kind of this almost at the same time, or they were very relatively new on the market, and they spent a lot of money, and they will not spend more money or the same amount of money on a 30 series, like 50% above the MSRPs and everything. The people overall, the trend is people will not spend that kind of money. So that's why we are seeing this, and it's good news. They are trickling down. And Nvidia still kind of maintains the same pricing here, because they basically have kind of more control, I think, on their stock. I just hope that we still at least see the 4080 start lowering down to at least $1,000 mark, so it can be, because or else I don't know how they think they're going to handle this. But yeah, because they are not even launching like mid-range GPUs, AMD supposedly is going to launch in this festival. There is the JD.com festival. It's going to, I think they're planning to launch here the mid-range GPUs, the AMD. I don't know what NVIDIA is thinking of. I think they don't need to sell GPUs, I think. But yeah, this is from hardware. Some things from gaming. Cyberpunk 2077 HD rework project mod. Now it's available for download. This is from the same guy that did the Witcher 3 HD rework project, which is excellent. And now it's basically incorporated on the Witcher 3, the latest version they launched. They incorporated natively on the game itself. It's the next gen update. And this guy now has they have like two files. One is for high resolution, like 1440p 4K without any compression or whatever, and then you have like the balanced version, which tends to balance a little bit with VRAM usage. That's why you always want high VRAM on your GPUs when you play 1440p and 4K, because textures will always use VRAM a lot. And in this day and age, games that are being launching, they are not very well optimized, and if they have like huge texture files and usage on the VRAM, and if they are not well optimized, it can bring like from stuttering to low performance. But this guy knows what he's doing. I think I played with the Witcher 3. I think one of the first mods that launched at the time. I think I managed to install this, and you notice a difference, and you don't have like a huge cheat on the performance. And now we're going to get some deals. Focus Entertainment still has some games on their portfolio on sale. I ignore a lot of stuff here because usually it's not for me. It's not the kind of games that I usually play. That's why I put everything ignored. But you have Plague Tale Require, which is on sales, 35% off. This one, Art Space Shipwrecker, it seems to have like good reviews. It's very positive. It's a simulator on you just going on a space station. You basically is the guy that it's dismantling things on the spaceships and everything. It seems pretty good. It's been launched some time ago. But yeah, you have some here like Necromunda. I don't know this game, but you have like The Search. It's 75% off. The Search 2, I didn't play this one. I played the first one. Yeah, I played the first one. The second one I never played, but it's a good deal. $8. It's a decent game. It's not out of the ordinary, but it's a decent game. But I will leave here the publisher here, the link on the publisher, so you can see if you have something that piques your interest. I've got Ori and the Wild of the Wisps. I always thought this game seems very, very good. This is the second one, so the sequel, 80% off, good one. The original one, it's not on sale at the moment, but this one it is, so take advantage of it. If you never play it, just get it. Yeah, and I single out here the Plague Tale Requiem. Sorry about my excellent English. 30% off, 35% off. And lastly, we got still Red Dead Redemption 2. It's on sale, still 75% off, or 70% with the Ultimate Edition. Basically, this is it. We still have the Resident Evil franchise. So basically, Capcom publisher things on Steam, it's still on sale. I'm not sure until how long it will still maintain. I think 3-4 days, I think, or at least this week. I refer to that for the previous video, but I will put a link also on the description of the Capcom sale. All the Resident Evils are very high deals here, like 75% off in most of them, so take advantage of it, except for the Resident Evil 4 remake, of course, and I think Resident Evil Village. I think it's not also on sale, I'm not sure, but I will leave a link on the description. And basically this is it for today. Not much, but some interesting things to talk about. And I'm going to wrap up with my GoFundMe for me to upgrade my PC to get better and more content for my private clients and start doing some video content for them. They've been asking me for a few months now. And of course, in my free spare time, doing my daily videos of news. I want to also, in the future, do some scripted content. And for that, I have to edit a lot of stuff around video, audio, and everything. And of course, resuming my gameplay series from things that I had to stop playing like 5 years or 6 years ago. And with all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.